the greatest story ever told starts, it's like a Hollywood script. You've got an angel in the room. And Mary's listening to this and going, wow, this is not an everyday occurrence. And yet, what we might be feeling in reading that is, if you've had this big angelic thing and you need to go and do that, and that's here, then you might be thinking, right, well, that's, if I've got the Son of God in my, we're going to give birth, and then he's going to do amazing things, and then in about, 10, 20, 30 years, like the whole world will be saved. I've had an angelic vision, not just any old angel. This is the angel Gabriel. He's like the big boss. This is all good. And yet, that's not how if you know the story, it's not actually how the story pans out. Very quickly, as we get into chapter 2 and chapter 3, and we've got there's a whole, they move to Egypt. They have to move to Egypt to run away from Herod, who's committing infanticide across. Jesus would have been killed if he'd stayed where he was. And so you're like, yeah, but we've had the angel. Why do we have to move to Egypt? That's like down here somewhere in this plan. And then even when Jesus is 30, the first of his miracles is at a wedding in Cana, and his mum's saying, but Miriam, she's saying, but you're the Messiah. You go and sort the wine out. and so even she's going, hold on, I had the angelic vision here. Why is he not doing the thing? And sadly, when we hear the voice of God, when we have those experiences of angels or audible voices or things like that, it's very rarely a linear line from hearing God's voice to the thing happening. Does that make sense? In fact, any of those stories I read through, I talked about earlier, they're not linear. All the best stories are not linear. We don't start here and just go through the dots and then the end is here. If you read, Lord of the Rings, and, Frodo got up one morning, found a ring, chucked it in the fire, came back, home in time for tea, you'd be like, that would be a really dull story, wouldn't it? If Danny Champion the World woke up and his dad had a pheasant in the oven already and wasn't hungry that night, he'd be like, oh, well, that was a quick book. Most good stories, most adventures hold a trajectory which isn't linear. And it for me and you as well. If Mary, the mother of Jesus, can hold this trajectory that is full of disappointments along the way, then we might have to too.